Hello and welcome to another episode of Game Theory, the #1 DraftKings prep show in all of the land. I am your host, Monk, aka the Monkmatician, and in this very episode, guys, we have the final UFC event of 2022 happening this Saturday, headlined by Sean Strickland against Jared Cannonier. We've got 13 other fights to cover as well. Please do not mind my Rudolph-like impersonation here. I have apparently blown my nose so much in the past 2 weeks that I have a giant zit on the inside of the tip of my nose. I don't know how that happened, but right now it looks about as red and as shiny as it's looked all day. So yeah, you're in a treat for that. If that really kind of makes you upset to look at, I put Cheyenne Vlismas right here. So just avert your eyes, avert your gaze over to the center of your screen, and you will be okay. And hey, if you don't like that, I mean, Sean Strickland's right there too. I don't know if that's your cup of tea, but you guys, you've got options. So before we get into it, please hit the like, hit the subscribe on this channel. It would mean a lot. And double before we get into it, this might be the last game theory of the year, guys, but stick around. I have a ton of content coming between now and the end of the year, specifically a series, the best of DFS. So I have a best of DraftKings scoring, not just scoring, but of all aspects, kind of a best of list for, I have a video for each weight class coming, and then I have an all-encompassing video that I will probably put out on the 31st, you know, just in time for New Year's Eve. So your boy has got you covered with some content, give you a little year-end wrap-up. You know, I think some company called Spotify does that. It seems to be a pretty big hit. So we will just take that card out. I've got some Photoshop going, and now I'm just babbling. I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. Let's get right into UFC Vegas 66. First fight of the night. Sergey Morozov going against Journey Newson. And guys, yes, if you can tell, my voice is still messed up. I've been sick for 2 freaking weeks, man. This flu is ridiculous. I think I finally got over it. It came back with a vengeance last week, pretty much right after Jared Gordon lost that decision. Honestly, I'm not making a joke. I started to get extremely sick again. I like very, very ill, body aches, etc. But we are all good. Your boy is good. Just a little voice stress. Anyways, Sergey Morozov, Journey Newson. I'll try to keep this whole video as short because, guys, it's like the last day of fucking school here. Much needed break. I like Sergey to win the fight. My pick is Sergey Morozov to win the fight. I do not like the salary of $9,300, guys. He scores decently, 3.51 points per minute. That is good enough for 8th best on the card. Only 91 per win, though. And he's gotten his wins over who, you may ask? Raulian Paiva and Khalid Taha. So 2 names that are decent. Nobody I'm putting a ton of stock in. In fact, he did lose to DSDA, Douglas Silva de Andrade, and Umar Nurmagomedov. So I think he's kind of more of a middling, and I do not mean this as an insult, a middling type bantamweight. And I don't think Journey Newson is probably even that high. So I will pick Morozov to win. I don't like his salary at all. There goes my phone. Nothing important, I assume. $1,200 over his average salary is Morozov. He does score a ton of takedown and control time points, which is really what we would want him for DraftKings. Almost over a 1.5 rather, in those 2 categories combined. Journey Newson does give up some of those. I fully expect Newson to get taken down. I don't expect that. God, I'll say this and then he'll go off for like 110, 120. I just don't expect a huge score. I mean, he put up 105 against Taha, 78 against Paiva with 2 takedowns there. He landed 6 takedowns on Taha, only put up 105. So if he only puts up 105 at 9,300, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to make the optimal lineup. I just think that's a bit too high. I think this fight goes to decision. Morozov by decision is my pick. If you don't know how the show goes, I have tons of stats on the screen, obviously. I'll try to scroll through them, give you my projections as well. And I just gestured to my monitor, which you cannot see. I'm doing it over and over. You can see the shadow of me doing it, but you can't see it on the screen. So there you go. That's how professional I am. And then the aggregate professional and UFC career finishing percentages. So yeah, Morozov by decision is what I like. He could get a finish. Has yet to find one in the UFC. Wait, how is he 2-2? Oh, 2. He has been subbed twice, and Journey Newson has 3 subs on his record. So, yeah, keep that in mind as well. Doesn't necessarily want to go to the ground and put himself in compromising situations with someone that has 3 subs, and you've given up your neck 3 times as well. So, Morozov by decision. Hopefully, he doesn't get in trouble. Next fight. Feel like I'm babbling. David Dvorak going against Manel Kape. Right off the bat, I'm picking Kape off the top of my head. Let's get into why I would do such a thing. 9,100 against 7,100, so a big favorite here. The highest DraftKings score on the card, 119.58. He only has 2 wins though, so let's pump the brakes here. 3 points per minute is what he averages. That is 17th best, so relatively low. 17th as far as offensive pace, but first overall on average score. So he that tells me he requires a finish to do any kind of scoring as far as DraftKings goes. David Dvorak, on the other hand, does not score any points. 2 points a minute, 75 per win. Doesn't give up any points either. 1.93 points per minute, 57 is what he gave up when he lost. These are Roman Dolidze type numbers. Yes, I do work in Roman Dolidze into any conversation I can. I only have a limited amount of time until he eventually loses, so I got to get it in. Right off the top of my head, I'm fading this fight just because of David Dvorak's numbers. No offensive pace, no defensive pace. Manel Kape, 2.35 points a minute is all he allows. 65 is what he gives up when he loses. So both these guys giving up an average of like 60 points, 61 points per loss. That is nothing. I will be not playing this one. Maybe I'll have more Dvorak than Kape, but Kape at 9,100 against a guy that gives up no points. Let's see. He got beat by Nicolau. Nicolau only scored, what did I even just say? I could just go look. 57 points against him. So, I mean, that's nothing. And then he, wins over Bruno Silva. That's probably his best win. Jordan Espinoza and Juan Camilo Ronderos. Man, should I pick Dvorak? I don't think so. I'm going to pick a lot of dogs this week. David Dvorak's not going to be one of them. Manel Kape has losses to Pantoja and Nicolau. Both guys lost to Nicolau, but then beat Ode Osborne in a great knock. I think if I remember right, that was an awesome knockout into the first round, and then beat Zhalgas Zhumagulov. The one time Zhalgas was not robbed in the UFC, he actually got finished. A legit loss was against Manel Kape. Maybe that was the one that we kind of came out of nowhere. Give me Kape by decision, very low scoring. I'm not interested in this fight for DraftKings at all. Next fight, Bryan Battle coming off a head kick win over Takashi Sato a few months ago, going against Rinat Fakhretdinov. That's right, he put Andreas Michailidis out of the UFC. 3-round decision. 108 points is what he scored in that one. 5.24 a minute. That's the only UFC fight we have for the Gladiator. Bryan Battle is a guy I don't really know what to do with. I tend to not play much of him when it comes to DraftKings, but he has the best offensive pace on the card. He's 3-0 in the UFC, 4.24 points per minute. Which is, like I said, the best offensive pace on the card. 104 per win. He's $500 less than his average salary. He's coming in as a dog here. Very interesting. Fakhretdinov only allowed 1.29 points, but that was again to Andreas Michailidis, who I would assume Bryan Battle is better than. Almost 1 point per minute in takedowns and control time. Giving up more than that, though, is Bryan Battle. Fakhretdinov gave up no takedown points and hardly any control time points, while racking up over 3 points per minute in those two categories. That might not be good for Bryan Battle. I assume this is going to be a ground game battle or a little wrestle off. Battles beat Gilbert Urbina, Tresean Gore, and Takashi Sato. Like I said, quick win bonus for Mr. Battle. Head kicking Takashi Sato within 1 minute of the first round there in his last fight. Rejections, much higher for Fakhretdinov, but like I said, only one UFC fight. That's all these stats are going off of, and he has a very high offensive pace at 5.24 points a minute. There are the rest of my stats there, just making sure I scroll down, so feel free to pause it at your convenience. Otherwise, you could have full control over all of these stats by going to patreon.com, as you can see in the scroll bar right over here. I'll get this figured out one day, which way I'm supposed to point. But I'm sure you've already seen that, so I won't go on about it. What's my pick here, guys? I like this fight for DraftKings. With 14 fights, either one of these guys could go under the radar, in my opinion. Fakhretdinov probably more so under the radar. He is more expensive, $8,300. This fight is fantastic for salary voodoo purposes. Basically a 50-50 battle. Man. My pick's going to be... Fuck, dude, I don't know. My pick's going to be Bryan Battle. I'll go with the dog here. Bryan Battle by what? I don't know. Decision, probably. Bryan Battle by decision. This one's going to be close. Two rounds to one, in my opinion. Probably, if it goes that way. That's a tough one, man. I'll pick Bryan Battle, but I'm interested to see how far, because I kind of, newcomers to the UFC, I go, when I see him most of the time, but I want to see what this guy Renat can do. Speaking of newcomers, what we want to see what they can do. Here's another dog I'm taking right off the bat. I'll let you know. Maheshate, taking him over Rafa Garcia. And we do this every time, guys. We do this every time, and we're going to do it again. All right? Every capper, 80% of cappers are going to say what? They're going to say Maheshate. They're going to pronounce that fine. And they're going to say Rafa Garcia. Yeah? What do? We go to Tapology, and we remind everyone that Rafa Garcia, Senor Rafa Garcia, is from Mexico, the country of Mexico, not Brazil. We do not say Rafa Garcia. It's not Jafa. It is Rafa. In fact, give it. I can't do it. Roll that R if you can, but Rafa Garcia hit it extra hard this week for all the Hafas out there. We got to get it right for him, especially since Maheshate hopefully is going to come out and knock Rafa the F out. We should at least pronounce his name correctly. 7,800 for Maheshate. I'm going to ride this bandwagon here as far as I can. He's fighting another guy named Garcia after he dispatched the first Garcia. Garcia, what did he score? 112? I just had a brain fart. My God. 112.8 is what he scored in his win. 18.5 points per minute. I believe he did it. Almost a quick win bonus. Not quite. Minute 15, a little more than that, over Mr. Steve Garcia. 7 strikes landed, 2 knockdowns. Put up 112. My goodness. Fantastic score for your UFC debut. He's fighting another guy, another Garcia here. Rafa Garcia doesn't give up a ton of points on average. Has not been finished in the UFC, but has a 2-3 record. Does put up, good amount of points when he wins. 104 for Garcia when he wins. But at 8,400, I don't understand really why he's favorite here. I'd like to see, I should probably look and see what the current line is. But as far as DraftKings is concerned, he's the underdog. Rafa Garcia puts up 1.8 points per minute in takedowns and control time. Maheshate didn't, he fought for a minute, so we can't really put a ton of stock into any stats that Maheshate has. Garcia has a 76% takedown defense. Maheshate's strength of schedule is really where he's lacking. 50. We want this number to be in the 70s, guys. I know you know that because you watch me so often, and I say it every week. 70 is good. Anything above is good. Great. Anything below is not great. We're barely at 50. The only thing he has going for him in his strength of schedule is that the fact that he's 5-0 in his last 5. 2-3 is I just did it. Rafa Garcia, but his strength of schedule is fantastic. Well over 70 in almost each and every category. Losses to Nasrat Hakprast, Chris Gritzmacher, and he was a $9,500 salary, guys. He's one of like the 2 times that salary's lost. And then Drakkar Close. So yeah, I don't put a ton of stock in Rafa Garcia. He did beat Jesse Ronson and Natan Levy in his UFC debut. I like Maheshate here, guys. I like him inside the distance. I think we're getting a deal on him at 7,800. He will be in my Pub Sports Radio lineup this week. He'll be in a ton of my actual lineups on Saturday. And yeah, I really like Maheshate here. I bet you he'll have a pretty decent ownership if I had to guess, but hopefully it won't be too much, so I can still get that edge on him. Next, Battle of the Saids. On one side, we have Said Nurmagomedov. On the other side, Said Yakub Kakhramonov. I'm excited to see this guy again for the 3rd time in the UFC. Nurmagomedov is 5-1, 2.49 points a minute, 95 per win. We have an $8,200, $8,000 fight here, guys. Kakhramonov has a great offensive pace, 4.84 points a minute, and this is almost in 30 minutes of UFC fight time. 109 points per win. His defensive pace is stellar. 1.65 points a minute is all he allows. Meanwhile, Nurmagomedov, even better than that. 1.55 points per minute. Allowed only 63 points in his one UFC loss. Kakhramonov is $400 over his average, while Nurmagomedov is $400 under. I really don't think you can go wrong with this one. I personally, did I pick the last fight? Did I make a pick? I picked Maheshate. I sure did. Inside the distance. My pick is Kakhramonov here. I'm going with another underdog, 8,000. Scores 2.84 points per minute in takedowns and control time. Nurmagomedov can be taken down and controlled. It has happened. Douglas Silva de Andrade controlled him for 28% of the fight. Landed a takedown. Raoni Barcelos landed 2 takedowns against him. Controlled him for almost 20% of that fight in which he lost. Yeah, I'm liking the numbers from Kakhramonov here. Interested to see what he can do against the 3 years elder Said Nurmagomedov. I think this is going to be a fantastic fight. You got your OV versus OV violence. Can't spell violence without OV. Am I right? Somebody. I just mailed that to myself. Nobody else can say it. It's trademarked. Like Pat Riley with 3-peat. Said Nurmagomedov, fantastic strength of schedule, guys. I just said it. We are over 70. This guy's last 5 strength of schedule is over 80 in almost each and every category. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I probably have, but it's very, very rare. We'll just say that. Over 80 in every category. Meanwhile, Said Yakub is under 70. 68 pretty much across the board with wins over Trevin Jones and Ronnie Lawrence. Very impressive against Ronnie Lawrence. Landed 10 takedowns in that one. I'm expecting he can land a few against Nurmagomedov here. If he can, then my pick's going to look good. If he cannot, my pick is not going to look good. If he cannot get takedowns against Said Nurmagomedov, not going to look good. I'm picking Kakhramonov by decision. I like the dog pick here. I do. Next fight, Julian, the Cuban Missile Crisis, Marquez, going against Duran Winn. Beginning of the week, I was like, everybody else, oh, he's way taller. This is going to be very difficult for Duran Winn. Remember when he fought Phil Haas? He was way taller. I've changed my mind from that completely obvious line of thought. I think Duran Winn has a shot to land some takedowns here against Marquez. Let's not even fuck around. First of all, Duran Winn's scoring potential and ceiling is immensely higher than Marquez. Marquez, one of the worst DraftKings players on the card. Look at these stats right here. Yes, you can see my cursor. That'll tell you everything you need to know. I mean, these are out of there's only 28 fighters. 4 of them are not ranked, so only 24 fighters. That's the highest number you'll find on my rankings. He's dead last in all these categories, guys, especially ceiling. That's one you want to look at. Meanwhile, Duran Winn, much higher. Much higher. Here's what concerns me about Julian Marquez. Other than fumbling a bag, as the kids say with Miley Cyrus, a complete and utter fumble, Leon Lett style at the goal line. Except he was his own Don Beebe in that situation. See, your boy knows more than UFC. Just nothing current. Over 2 points a minute is what Marquez has allowed so far in takedowns and control time. And he's fought for 47.5 minutes, guys. Duran Winn, this is his game. Obviously, he needs to get inside, take you down, control you, beat you up, ground and pound. Almost 2 points a minute is what he scores in takedowns and control time. Here's the one. Julian Marquez's takedown defense is 43.48%. Let's get the exact numbers on that. People have landed 13 out of 23 takedowns against Julian Marquez. I wouldn't be surprised if Duran Winn landed 13 of 23 takedowns against Julian Marquez, to be completely honest. I'm throwing Duran Winn in a ton of lineups this week as a dog. $7,500. 87. Duran Winn at 7,500 is whatever. It's fine. It's good for such high potential. Marquez is the opposite. You want me to pay $8,700 for these numbers? You want me to do that? Because I don't want to do that. You want me to pay $8,700 for these numbers? Because I don't want to do that. Or for this number? Because I don't want to do that. So yeah, I think you guys know where I'm thinking. I'm picking Duran Winn to win the fight. Marquez has only beat Stuart Patolo and Sam Alvey in his last 5, guys. Color me unimpressed. unimpressed. Okay, look at these projections in a decision for Marquez compared to projections for in a decision for Winn. If I could speak properly, I like Winn here. I like him to land several takedowns. I hope. Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy. Winn round 3, KO TKO, ground and pound. Winn round 3, KO TKO. I think that's what happens here. We're going to Ron Winn. Marquez is way overpriced. Next fight, Jake Matthews, the guy that everybody is on after his beatdown, quick beatdown, not quick, but general beatdown of Andre Fiallo, who had a ton of hype coming into that one, against Matthew Semelsberger. Guys, I'm going with the dog again. All the value is on the dog. I like Jake Matthews. 9,200. I don't like Jake Matthews as much. 3 points a minute, meh. 91.9 per win, meh. He's not even 10xing at that price. I mean, if you round up, he's 10xing. Only allows 1.95 points per minute. 88, though, per loss. That number is pretty high compared to that number. It's not crazy, but it's a little high. You're also spending up 680 from what Jake Matthews' average salary is, and he is a UFC vet, guys, with 178 cage minutes of cage time. Meanwhile, Semelsberger's 1450 under his average. Once again, much like Deron Winn, a guy with much better ceiling and a much better DraftKings average and potential than his much more expensive opponent. 3.41 points a minute for Semelsberger, 104.5 per win. Only gives up 75 when he loses. So guys, I'm gonna have to fade Jake Matthews. I'm gonna have to. A lot of people are gonna be on him. This is one big leverage spot I'm hoping to take advantage of this week. I think people are going to see, the big KO over Fiallo. Jake Matthews' only loss in his last 5 was to Sean Brady. Before that, we're talking Diego Sanchez in 2021 or 2020, Emil Mech, and Rostam Akhman. So I'm like, again, get that crayon back out of your crayon box and color me unimpressed, guys. Leave a note in the comments. What color do you think unimpressed is? Is it like Eeyore? That's more of like depressed. So like I don't know, like a gray mixed with a blue. I'm not really sure. Excuse me. The strength of schedule is close. It's very, very close. In fact, their last 5 opponents' last 5 pro record is exactly the same, 67-25. I'm picking Semelsberger here for the win by decision. I'm thinking he can land a little bit of wrestling, hopefully, against Jake Matthews, though I don't know. He doesn't really give up a ton, to be honest. And he does his own, he scores well over 1 point per minute, lands 1.85 takedowns per 15 minutes. Yeah, 63% takedown defense for Semelsberger. Man, I'm really hoping to just use this as a leverage play. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Jake Matthews probably wins, but I'm picking Semelsberger by decision. $7,000. Get me some salary savings because I want some of the expensive guys this week. I really do. Next fight, Cheyenne Vlismas. This is one of them, kind of. Going against Corey McKenna. I like Cheyenne Vlismas. The pick is Cheyenne Vlismas by decision. 3.53 points a minute is what she scores. 110.71. But this is only over 2 wins, and it's really 1 win. She put up 135 against Gloria DePaula, only 86 against Mallory Martin. So, a lot of things went right for her in that Gloria DePaula fight. She also gives up more than she scores, 3.8 points per minute and 102, almost 103 basically when she wins. She's coming in right at her average salary of $9,000. Meanwhile, Corey McKenna, $7,200 is her salary, 3.92 points per minute, 93 per win. This is another girl that I don't know how to play her. She just is the most unphysical person I could have. Like, if you're telling me to picture a UFC fighter without any physicality, this is who I'm picturing, is Corey McKenna. She's 1,100 under her average salary, and while she does score very well in takedowns and control time points per minute, Cheyenne Vlismas does allow a ton of those. I just don't know if Vlismas is able to control the stand-up here and maybe avoid just a couple of shots from McKenna. I think she can. I think she wins this fight, to be completely honest. I mean, we could look at the Elise Reed fight. I think Vlismas is a better striker than Elise Reed. Don't get me wrong. But that was a pretty close decision according to my stats here. But Elise Reed landed 76 strikes on her, and even, took 3 takedowns, but still won the fight. So that's kind of how I'm picturing this one. I think Vlismas probably does get taken down once or twice, but I think she's able to either get up or, at least bloody up Corey McKenna, make her look pretty bad on the feet standing. So give me Vlismas by decision. $9,000. I'll play a little bit of her for some of that ceiling, that Gloria DePaula ceiling potential, but I'm not counting on that at all. Vlismas will also, you have to imagine, she'll also be very highly owned because she is expensive, because everyone knows who she is, and because, she's easy on the eyes. It goes with it. It really does. She's going to be high, she's going to get an extra bump in ownership because of that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but, I'm just saying that's how I think it's going to go. So, this is going to be an ownership play. If she comes in at 30%, I'll likely be under the field. If she comes in at less than I'm anticipating, I'll go pretty far over. So if she comes in at 20, maybe I'll go 35, something like that. That's kind of how I see it. Next fight, Cody Brundage going against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. This is another one where I'm gonna be paying up. I mean, I like Cody Brundage. He did us well over on the MMA Engine in his last fight when he beat up Tresean Gore in the first round, scored 115 points for us at DraftKings. That was fantastic. I believe he did it at a dog price. Is that true? Yes, $7,900. He subbed Dolce at $7,900 and lost to Nick Maximoff at $77. So we are getting him at an even cheaper rate, but I don't know if I'm going to put him in on this one. This might be the time to fade Mr. Brundage because Oleksiejczuk is a beast, I think, in my opinion, in this fight, in this matchup anyway. 9,400. I think it's worth it. 3.69 a minute, almost 110 when he wins. He is 1,000, almost 1,100 over his average salary. Meanwhile, Brundage allows 4.17 points per minute. That is a ton of points to be allowing. He is $1,000 under his average salary. If Brundage can get a couple takedowns here, that's definitely going to work in his favor. He is the taller, barely. Yeah, they're pretty much the same. I was going to say taller fighter, but I think Michael is going to Michael. I don't know. I'll just call him Oleksiejczuk. Can you believe I pronounced that probably better than his first name? We'll just call him Michael, I guess. I hate to be that guy, but strength of schedule is better than Brundage all around. His weak spot is his takedown defense, 50%. That's what I was looking for. So if Brundage can get him down, it's going to be interesting. But I really think the stand-up, this could be over quick, guys. It could be over pretty quickly, to be completely honest. So he could start piecing up Brundage, and then it gets to be about that time. So I will be putting Oleksiejczuk in my lineups. Love him here, even at the high salary of 9,400. But guys, I've given you a ton of dogs already, so I'm going to have a lot of dogs this week. And I really think some of these higher end guys can pay off their salaries with some decent wins. And I'm banking on the fact that Mikhail can get a decent win here over Cody Brundage. So give me Oleksiejczuk. First round knockout. Let's do it. Let's do it, baby. First round knockout, Oleksiejczuk. Love him for DraftKings. Next fight, a guy from my hometown. Shout out to Omaha, Nebraska, 402. We've got our guy, Drew Dober, going against Bobby Green. If you don't like Bobby Green, I don't know what to do. If you don't like both these guys, I don't really know what to do for you. Drew Dober looks like a guy that you could love to hate, but then you hear him talk and you see his personality and he's like, dude, I can't hate you. You're like seemingly one of the nicest guys there is. Bobby Green, basically the same thing. Like, how can you not like this guy? I'm picking Drew Dober here. This one's going to be a banger. This one might be the people's main event, as they say. 8,600 for Dober, 76 for Bobby Green. I like both sides of this one. I have not said that at all on this show. I like both sides for this one, mostly because of their salaries. The pick is going to be Drew Dober. Can he finish Bobby Green? I don't know about that. Probably Drew Dober by decision, but if this goes into the third, it's going to get real hairy for Dober. Hopefully he can bank the first 2 rounds, because Bobby Green does not lose many third rounds. I'm going to pick Drew Dober, though, but best believe I'll have both of these guys rostered. Well over 3 points a minute for each guy. Bobby Green closer to 3.5. I mean, not huge salary differentials for these guys. Bobby Green, 360 under his average. Drew Dober, $50 over his average. 81% of Drew Dober's 11 wins. So what's that? 8 of them? 9 of them? My math, probably 9, is not good today. I got a little bit of brain fog. So over 90 points, 9 fights over 90. Very good look there. 7 of Bobby Green's 10 wins over 70. 4 of them over 100. Good look there. Both these guys allowing a decent amount of takedown and control time points, especially Drew Dober. But Bobby Green probably not going to go for that many takedowns, guys. Probably not. Drew Dober. Oh, I just lost my light for some reason. Uh-oh. Well, my face is going to be a bit shadowy. Probably better for my my Rudolph nose tip there. Why did my light just turn off, though? That is super annoying. I find it very annoying. Oh, maybe I was just... Operator error. Strength of schedule, Bobby Green, much, much better than Drew Dober's, and Drew Dober's is not bad at all. Dober winning over Alexander Hernandez, Terrence McKinney, and Rafael Alves in his last 5, losing to Brad Riddell and the lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. Both guys lost to Makhachev, actually. Bobby Green hasn't fought since he fought Makhachev back in February. Lost to Fazayev and lost to Thiago Moises as well. I think Drew Dober probably a step above those guys. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I give Moises a hard time ever since that Joel Alvarez fight, but I'm going to go with Drew Dober here. Bobby Green, it should be noted, has made the optimal lineup in 3 out of his past 4 fights, and you might have noticed, well, he's only won 2 of them. Yeah, but he also made the optimal lineup, and I believe the Fazayev fight, in which he scored 57 points in a loss at $6,900. So that'll get you on the optimal line, much like Jared Gordon. This past week scored almost 60 points, made the optimal lineup in a loss. So, Bobby Green is a guy that can do that. So give me Drew Dober by decision. 3rd round's going to be a banger. Watch. Next fight, Alex Caceres going against Julian Erosa. My goodness. Erosa is just a guy that is never in a boring fight. Oh, that'll make your eye close up. Excuse me. Erosa, never in a boring fight. 6-5 in the UFC. Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy, 14-11. A very prolific and long, illustrious UFC career for Alex Caceres. Scores only 2.55 a minute, 83.7 when he wins. If I'm going to be on his side, it'll be Erosa. 3.73 points per minute, 104.5 when he wins, but he is 1,300 over his average salary. I don't like his salary of 8,800, but he has made the optimal lineup in 3 out of his past 5 fights. Probably his 3 win. Well, he beat Nate Landwehr, scored 131 points there. Beat Steven Peterson, Charles Jourdain, and Hakeem Dawodu. Alex Caceres is 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a loss to Sadiq Youssef back in March of this year. Here are the projections before I forget to do it. Very close, very close. Oh, let's look at this real estate one more time. Erosa's got him covered pretty much everywhere when it comes to winning statistics. How much, let's see. We like to look at these stats. Both guys giving up a ton of takedown and control time points, but Caceres is giving up well over 1.1. In fact, it's 1.11 for you numerology people out there. And then Erosa scoring 0.89 points per minute in takedowns and control time. I like Erosa. I think he's just that much better than Caceres everywhere. But he will have to be careful. We all remember what happened to Sung Woo Choi. Everyone had Caceres written off in that fight for the most part. And then he wrapped up Sung Woo Choi's neck, I believe. I don't remember what kind of sub it was, but it was a submission. In the 3rd round, was it? Sorry to keep scrolling. 2nd round, halfway through the 2nd. So Erosa will have to avoid that, but I'm sure he knows that. Give me Erosa, I guess by decision. Probably. Erosa has been TKO'd 4 times out of his 5 UFC losses. So not really a path. I mean, that would be a path to victory, but Alex doesn't really do that to people. So give me Erosa by decision, I guess. Next fight. This one will be easy. The pick Samir Albazi, however he wants. Hopefully first round finish. That's what we're going with here. I will be paying up to $9,600 for Amir Albazi. Guys, if I'm putting Matthew Semelsberger in my lineup at 7,000, I'm putting some of these other cheap guys in, I'm going up. Please believe I will be getting to Amir Albazi going against a newcomer. This dude just dispatched, and obviously Figgy's not really like a world beater, dispatched Francisco Figueiredo by submission in the first round, scored 111 points. Unanimous decision over Zalgas. Unanimous subbed Malcolm Gordon. Pretty much the same time frame as Francisco Figueiredo in his UFC debut. 3.21 points a minute. 95.96. I'm hoping he gets that first round finish to pay off this $9,600 salary. Love Amir Albazi for cash. Maybe a bit, not so much love for GPPs, but absolutely love him for cash. Alessandro Costa, $6,600, cheapest fighter on the card. Dana White Contender Series fight, or alum, I should say. He only scored 2 points a minute. 60 is what he would have put up in that win. So I'll just slowly, or not slowly, scroll through the rest of these stats. Yeah, Costa beat someone named Juan Andres Luna. Split decision, unimpressive. Here's my projections. I'm hoping Albazi comes out here and makes extremely short work of this guy. Pay off that salary. Give me a quick win bonus, man, and that would be even more fantastic. So pick is Albazi, first round finish. Next fight, another. This is a tough one, man. Arman Tsarukyan going against Damir Ismagulov. I'm picking Damir Ismagulov. I'm picking Damir by decision here, and I like Arman Tsarukyan a lot. I did pick Gamrot to beat him. That was an extremely close fight. Tsarukyan absolutely manhandled. Let's see. Yeah, Joel Alvarez. And I was going to say, yeah, and I would be wrong about that. Yeah, Alvarez beat Giagos, first round KO, beat Fervola, and beat Davi Hamos before that. Meanwhile, Ismagulov coming off of a split decision win over Guram Kutateladze, who a lot of people hold in very high regard. Rafael Alves, Thiago Moises, Joel Alvarez, and Alex Gorgie. So I'm going Ismagulov by decision, 3.12 points a minute, 76 per win. I think he can score a bit better than that here. Tsarukyan does, gave up 90 on average in his losses. Neither guy gives up a ton of points per minute, though. 1.84 for Tsarukyan. That's the third best number on the card. Ismagulov, the best defensive pace on the card, allowing just 1.31 points per minute. Here's the big deal breaker here. Ismagulov has 5 UFC fights. His average salary is $9,120. He is $7,300 this week, guys. I think someone is well overvaluing, not Tsarukyan, because I do think I place high value on Tsarukyan. I do. He's made the optimal twice in his past 4 fights, but I think someone's overvaluing him in this matchup. This line is too wide. Too wide, man. Tsarukyan does score well, 3.75 a minute, 104 per win, 1.46 points per minute in takedowns and control time. Ismagulov allows 0.1 points per minute in takedowns and control time. And this is over 75 UFC minutes, guys. I just like Ismagulov here. He has a 91% takedown defense. 91. Strength of schedule is comparable, to say the least. The only loss between them in their past 5 was the aforementioned Mateusz Gamrot against Tsarukyan. And then Gamrot was forthwith. I don't, man. It's just not there today. He was since beaten. I had my sentence, guys, and then I interrupted myself. Oh, we're on the co-main event. Don't worry, bud. It's almost over. But yeah, against Beneil Dariush, Gamrot was kind of put in his place, knocked down a peg, and he's the one that came out and gave Tsarukyan the biggest test of his career and actually got that win. So I'm thinking Ismagulov is one of the toughest guys Tsarukyan's going to have to fight here up to this point, and I'm not ready to concede that he beats him easily. 89 and 73 is a ridiculous price tag. I'll be well under the field on Tsarukyan and well over the field on Ismagulov because I want Amir Albazi. I want whoever I said at 9,400 as well. So whoever was fighting Cody Brundage, now I can't remember. But yeah, that's who I want. Who is fighting Cody Brundage? Oleksiejczuk. So yeah, the pick is Ismagulov for yet another dog pick here at UFC Vegas 66. Guys, here comes the main event. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll figure out how to put a sentence together yet. Don't you worry. Main event of the evening, we did it, guys. Jared Cannonier going against Sean Strickland. I was kind of surprised to see Sean Strickland at such a... I'm surprised to see this line so wide. This could have been an 82-8,000 fight for me. But here we are, Sean Strickland, 8,500 going against Jared Cannonier at 77. Cannonier not generally a good DraftKings player. 2.18 points a minute, 90 per win. I tend to fade Jared Cannonier, and it has paid off. I will continue to do the same, as Sean Strickland allows just over 2 points per minute. He basically allows what Cannonier scores. So unless Cannonier is going to get that Alex Pedetta type finish, I don't see it. I'm closer to the this fight goes to decision, and if that happens, I'm probably leaning Strickland to win by points. It's just kind of how he does things. He's probably going to, he's going to be the taller fighter. Maybe not the longer reach per se, but the better DraftKings player for sure. 3.14 points per minute, 93 per win. Scores 0.6 points per minute in takedowns and control time, which is Jared Cannonier's, his weak point, according to the stats. Allows almost 1 point per minute in those two categories. Do I think Sean Strickland's going to go for takedowns? Absolutely not. We know how Sean Strickland fights. Cue all the iCarly memes. We know how Sean Strickland fights. 85% takedown defense. Cannonier 65.5%. So if he does need to throw a takedown, he can. I just don't see that happening. Both guys, beat some great names. Both beat Jack Hermanson. Sean Strickland beat Hall, Jotko, and Brendan Allen before that. He put up 144 against Hall in a 5-round decision, guys. 144 points. He landed 186 significant strikes. I mean, that's what he can do. He can score you a ton of points just by staying in the pocket, or staying out at range, and just piecing you up. 1-2, bam. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, over and over again. So I think he can do that to Cannonier as well. I don't think Sean Strickland is going to put himself in a Derek Brunson type situation. But yeah, I think this one goes to decision more often than not. And I think Sean Strickland's cardio is probably a bit better. He's just going to have to avoid the kill shot from Cannonier, which is getting easier and easier to do, it seems, by the fight. In fact, Cannonier's chindex is higher than his power index, meaning he's been knocked down in less strikes than he's knocking people down. So I'm picking the official pick is Sean Strickland by decision. I will have a bit of him at 8,500. I'll have a bit of both sides of this one, actually, because I do like the salaries. The salaries are extra nice for this fight. So there you have it. Before we get out of here, CM Monk's picks and projections. Whoops, where are we going? Right here. Let's look at last week real quick. Here's last week. Here's last week's optimal lineup, if you didn't see it. You got Dricus du Plessis, Rosenstreich coming out and getting just obliterating Chris Daukaus. Rough run for the Daukaus brothers lately. Billy Q, Ilya Topuria, TJ Brown, and Jared Gordon made the optimal lineup, scoring 58 points, like I mentioned. We got 4 fights exactly correct. We went 9-2 with our picks overall, plus the push for Ankalaev there. Here we go this week, guys. Look at all these dog picks. Let's see if I agree with these. We've got Sergey Morozov by decision. Yep. Manel Kape by decision. Sure. Rinat Fakhretdinov by decision. I think I picked Brian Battle. Maheshate by decision. Love Maheshate. Hopefully he finishes Rafa Garcia. Saeed Yakub Kakhramonov. CM Monk agrees with me. Perfect. Duran Winn by finish. Absolutely love it. Jake Matthews by finish. Don't like that. I picked Semelsberger, but I do like Jake Matthews. Cheyenne Vlismas by decision. Love it. Michael Oleksiejczuk by finish. Love it. Bobby Green over Drew Dober is what CM Monk is picking. I like Drew Dober here, but I don't mind the pick. Do love Bobby Green. Caceres over Erosa. Interesting. I like Erosa. CM Monk's picking Caceres by finish. Maybe he subs him. Amir Albazi by decision. Hopefully he gets it done much earlier than that. Arman Tsarukyan by decision. Interesting. I like Ismagulov. I like Ismagulov a lot here, actually. And Sean Strickland by decision, just what I said. So we do agree on a lot of these. CM Monk, 5 dog picks. That's got to be the most. That's got to be tied or up there for the most dog picks he's picked all year. And guys, this right here, you can see to the left of my head, to my left, to your right of my head, 59.92% is what CM Monk is on the year. 296 correct out of 494 fights. We got to get over 60%, guys. We got to get over 60%. How many fights are there? 14. I need what? 9 to 10 fights. Easy, right? I got this. We got this, CM Monk. Come on, bud. You can do it. That is going to do it, guys, for UFC Vegas 66 Game Theory. Really appreciate you joining me. Please hit that like, hit the sub, leave anything you want in the comments. Tell me how you're going to spend your break, and be sure to look forward to the best of DFS from every single weight class, and then an overall best of coming your way all before the new year. So, guys, thank you so much. As usual, I want all of you to enjoy the fight. So, enjoy, and we will see you next year, 2023. Have a good one.